I'm Dr. Sharon Schutz, and today I am here with Tommy Hayes from the Assembly of God U.S. Missions. And he's going to tell us about a program that he's involved with, and it's really exciting. In fact, Trinity has already been blessed by this program. You want to tell us who you're working with?
We are associated with Convoy of Hope and Rural Compassion out of Springfield, Missouri. They're the ones that supply us the shoes, the backpacks. We have trucks come in that have pallets of cleaning goods, food, that we're able to bless the churches, and then in turn they bless their community with this. As you're saying, yes, the Trinity schools, we handed out almost 400 pairs of shoes to the Trinity schools not very long ago, and it's through Rural Compassion that we have the availability to do this.
Right.
But also we have Hero Bibles, and it's awesome. We've had one church that had a Blue Sunday where he had the Hero Bibles with the police badge, and even put the badge number for these officers on it, and then handed it to them at a church service.
That's wonderful.
And then he turned around and had a Red Sunday where he called the volunteer fire department in and blessed them with it and had the multi-cross on it. Out of that, in reaching his community on this, the police chief came into his service, got saved, and is a member of the church. The fire chief has come in, and the mayor has come to the church, and now the fire department has just appointed him, the pastor of the church, as the chaplain to the fire department and police department.
That's wonderful.
So that's what we're doing. What God has called us to do in the U.S. Missionary is to help pastors be the pastor of the community.
Right.
I tell them, and in our training, we tell them that the pastor is not the pastor of the church. He's the pastor of the community, and we're helping them reach the community. Convoy of Hope, Rural Compassion supplies us. They have a few guidelines, but everybody is pretty well available to receive.
Does it have to be an Assembly of God church that you work through?
That is all I go to now, but we have had outside denominations, yes.
Because I know we have one Assembly of God here, and of course that's Roger Goings, and I know you worked with his son, and it was an amazing program. I was so excited when I heard about it. But I know that probably every little town has its own Assembly of God church.
Yes, ma'am.
But I was just wondering if you work, because you can only give shoes so many times, but then you got the Bible and whatever. So I was just wondering if other churches could do this.
And what the thing is, what we're trying to do, a lot of churches have one big program a year, mainly Easter.
Right.
Everybody does an Easter program. And then the community never sees them again till the following Easter. And that's what we're trying to help the pastor change this mentality where they can stay in the community's eye. We're telling them the shareholders of your community, the police, the fire, the school, in a small rural town, the hub is usually the school. And so we're teaching them to be so involved with them and to stay in the community's eye. It's so simple. I tell them, we have, anybody can pop popcorn.
Right.
And you put popcorn in a plastic bag, put it with a bottle of water, put a tag on the plastic bag and said, we just popped in to say thank you for teaching our kids, and put it in the teacher's line. Little things like this keeps the church in the community.
Stay proactive.
And then when they're having problems, the first ones they think of is that church. So that's what we're trying to do, is help these pastors reach their community and be a difference. The question I'll pose to the pastors when we do this training is, if your church ceased to exist in the community, if you closed your doors, would anybody know it?
Right.
And when they can answer that, then usually we're called and we help them.
Sadly, in Trinity, my husband and I have been pastors for many years, and in this town, pastors can sit right next to each other in a restaurant, and not that they don't like each other, they just they don't communicate, they don't barely speak. They love each other as pastors, but we don't have a lot of communication between ministers and whatever the denominations.
Correct.
And something like that would be awesome if we could focus on ministering to the community and come out of that shell.
See, I've always looked at, and we're still looking, to one time maybe find a community that has a ministerial alliance of all denominations, and then we can hit the ministerial alliance and let all denominations be part of putting the shoes out and handing the shoes out.
That would be awesome.
and everything, and then that way we're reaching the whole community. We're not reaching a certain denomination. We're not reaching a certain part. The Assemblies of God, I'm ordained in the Assemblies of God, so that's who I kind of favor with, I guess you might say.
Absolutely.
But to be part of a community, because in handing these shoes out, my wife and I, we put shoes on these kids. We put the shoes, and not long ago I had a little girl she started welling up with tears because she said, "This is the first pair of shoes I've ever had." Her shoes were too big. She's been wearing her sister's shoes. They're passed down from sister to sister. And so, things like this, will really draw at your heartstrings, but, in turn, the church is being a blessing to them.
Absolutely.
And that's all we're trying to do.
Well, not only that, the church has been a blessing, but that child will always remember that it was the people of God that gave her those shoes.
Right.
That touched her. And that'll be something that'll be with her the rest of her life. Yeah. And we just never realize how important that soft touch can be.
Correct.
And
a pair of shoes. The shoes that we hand out, the manufacturer, we're not allowed to present their name. They give lots of shoes out, but they run about $50-$60 a pair in a retail store.
Wow.
They're nice shoes. They're not $5-$10 throwaway, in a week. They're some nice shoes.
Wonderful.
And but this company, so far we've been involved in this about 4 years now, and we've handed out over 16,000 pairs of shoes.
That's awesome.
In just our part of the ministry, 2,000, a little over 2,000 backpacks and about 700 Hero Bibles.
So if I wanted, as a pastor of, say, a church that's not part of the assembly, say I wanted to do something special for the law enforcement or the emergency, the fire department or whatever, and we want to do something special for them, what would that involve? Could we do something as an outside church? Could we? And how do you go about doing it? How does an Assembly of God go about, getting the shoes program into their community or getting this stuff into their community? How do they go about it?
Well, Assembly of God right now, if they can get hold to me. We do trainings. I've got a training coming up the 17th of February in Mount Pleasant. I've already got it full. We usually do about 20 to 25 churches in one of these trainings.
Right.
And but now an outside church, get hold to me and we'll see what we can do. Okay. I've never had that opportunity. I call it an opportunity because it's more of a blessing, but we're willing to work with anybody. Well,
it seems to me that, of course, now I went to Brother Going's church, and he's one of the finest men I know.
Yes, ma'am.
And I just I loved his church, but we're at a church now where in fact we're in an election for pastor right now. But the thing is, we've not been with the assembly. That's not our original. We were ordained through another organization, and we're with them for over 20 years. That's similar to the assemblies. But the thing is, there's so many wonderful opportunities with this program you have that whether you're an Assembly of God or whatever, it just makes sense that if something like this is available, you use it. It's a tool. It's a wonderful ministry tool. And so we need to be able to let people know about it beyond the Assembly of God.
Yes, ma'am. And the only reason why is with the assemblies is because I'm I'm assembly.
Right.
But Convoy of Hope Rural Compassion is not helped by denominational barriers. Let me say that.
Okay.
They are kind of what I was. They are open.
All right.
And so I'm sure we can get something done. But they get hold to me, we'll be glad to work with them and help them anyway.
And now the Convoy of Hope, they work with the different manufacturers, like say the shoes or the Bibles or whatever, and then they provide that.
Yes, ma'am.
And then what does the church provide?
The church provides manpower. We were able to bless the churches with this, usually at very little expense. Most of the time, like Brother Goins, most of the time in a church scenario, when they get the shoes, Convoy of Hope asks for help in the shipping. That's all that's asked of the church, is to help pay some of the shipping.
Yeah.
When my wife and I, we were pastors at Malakoff, we did 478 pairs of shoes. The shipping, we paid the shipping, and it was $72.
Wow.
So it's not a large amount of money for the church to come up with to be able to bless the school. Because, I keep pushing the shoes, but when we look at what our community is going through now, in the 60s and 70s, back in my time, I guess you might say.
Mine too.
Kids, every 2 out of 3 kids at that time attended church. Now it's 1 out of every 25. And so we see a great falling away, and so it gives the church an opportunity to bless, but yet put it out there that they're there to help.
Right.
And that's the main thing.
And Paul said, that's what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to reach out and touch the flesh.
Yes, ma'am.
When you touch that body and you give them the comforts of life, they'll listen to the words you speak.
Right.
But if you just walk by and say, be blessed, and don't do anything for them, then they're not going to really hear what you have to say.
That's right. Yeah.
This is an amazing program.
Yes, ma'am.
And I think it's something that, that every church in Texas or whatever should get behind. It's it's an amazing program.
I know Rural Compassion and Convoy are meeting needs in other states and other districts and everything. But I have to say, North Texas District, we have had some great opportunities, and we've had some great outreaches happening. We're seeing churches that, for whatever reason, that hadn't had any salvations in over a year, having 2 and 3 water baptisms because of all the salvations.
Wonderful.
We're seeing pastors. I've had pastors last Easter call me up and said, this is the largest congregation we've ever had at any special day in church history.
Because of this program.
Because of this program.
Amazing.
Because they simply step out of the 4 walls, out of the confinement, out of the comfort zone, and dare to reach out. Ken Anderson does the training for Rural Compassion, and his main thing that he teaches in there is throw out the net. And I tell the pastors, we'll mend the nets, we'll help you mend the nets, we'll help you take care of the harvest and everything, but I can't throw it for you. Right. If you'll throw it, I'll be there to help you.
I like that.
So, and that's what we do. And I guess you might say in a nutshell, that's what we're doing, and God is blessing it, and we're seeing churches growing by leaps and bounds.
So if someone wants to get a hold of you and talk to you about putting this program in their church.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you want to give us a phone number?
My cell phone number is 903-340-5085.
Okay.
My email address is T as in Tommy, Hayes, Hayes, 0806 @yahoo.com.
All right.
And I will get back with them, and I love to meet with pastors, and my wife and I, we love to travel and just talk about it, and I can get anybody set up, or we'll try my best to.
Wonderful. Well, it sounds like an amazing program, and it's something that it's worth checking into. It can't hurt to check into it.
Right, it's free.
Exactly.
Contacting me is free.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Tommy.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Appreciate you coming in.